All right. Roy, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Oh my God, I hear that echo.
Yeah. You get used to it. So, Roy, you've gotten a lot of attention for not just your product, but how you've communicated it. You kind of have this theory that distribution is paramount, that it's important.
Yeah.
Can you kind of take me into your head of when you figured that out and what was going through your head?
Yeah. I mean, before Cluely, there was Interview Coder, and I don't know if everyone knows the story, but it's like the thing I built at school. And I built it because like I used to be the biggest like YC glazer. Literally this time last year, I was telling my co-founder like, bro, imagine if we got into YC, and we were like jerking ourselves off over it. But realistically, I mean, it's like I tried a bunch of B2B shit. I'm like, yo, this is what Gary Tan is looking for. But in all honesty, bro, like it was flopping. We didn't make any sales. I couldn't even build a thing, and I'm like, bro, what am I doing? Like I feel like I'm a funny kid. There's other ideas out there that are more viral, and why don't we just start thinking about like what's the craziest LinkedIn post we could make? And that's what kicked off the idea for Interview Coder. It's like, we're like, dude, I'm pretty sure this can get 1 million views, and let's just post it and see what happens. And he posted that, and eventually it did get like 1 million views. And then we're like, holy shit, this worked very well. Let's just keep doing this and see where it goes. And eventually this becomes I'm like front page of Twitter, and like at one point, bro, like things just start working so well, you realize like, oh fuck, I'm looking at the frontier of something. I gotta see where this takes me. And then Interview Coder is like the little translucent glass pane that helps you cheat on LeetCode interviews. And we just thought like, man, what if, like I know we're not that tough yet, but like what if we could low-key just make this work for everything? And that's what sparked the idea for Cluely, because I'm pretty sure I just know how to make a bunch of people see something. So what's the biggest idea we could plant in? And it's the biggest idea.
Have you always been like this? Like, have you always liked getting people to, I mean that like in a nice way, because like you've clearly cracked something here. So, like, have you always been good at getting attention onto the things you're doing?
My earliest memory of all consciousness is when I was 5 years old in kindergarten.
Wow.
And we used to have like show and tell. I couldn't read for shit back then, but I used to bring like Korean books, like novels, and I used to read them out loud to the class and translate them in English. But I was speaking gibberish the whole time. And the whole time I was just thinking like, what is the craziest story I could come up with to get the whole class to like react about something? So I say I haven't really been in the space of content creation for too long, but I've been in the space of attention getting for my whole life.
It's in your blood.
It's in my blood, yeah.
So, I mean, like you had Interview Coder, blew up. We wrote about it in TechCrunch. I remember when it was happening, and kind of take me through what happened like right after that. Like you basically dropped out of Columbia, right?
Yeah. I mean, as it was going on, I think everyone liked to say like, yo, like you're getting kicked out of school. Like you really got to think about it. Like, man, dude, I'm way too far deep for your one Twitter comment to be like, oh, fuck, you're right. Like now I got to go back and redo everything. And like you get stuck between a rock and a hard place very quick. And as soon as, Columbia sends me like essentially, for those that don't know the story, I post about it. I post about getting a job in Amazon. With it, and I make it public, and it gets like 100,000 views, and then Amazon and Columbia are both like breathing down my neck. And as soon as Columbia sends me the first letter saying, hey, you got to go to a disciplinary hearing, I knew like I'm fucked, this product is fucked, there's nowhere this goes. But I have one thing right now, which I feel like nobody else in the world has, which is like I'm the hottest thing on tech Twitter. Let me investigate this space and see how far it goes. Yeah. I don't even remember the original question, but
yeah, that's good, that was fine. So I want to talk to you a little bit because startup marketing sounds really boring. Yeah. Like, I kind of fell asleep a little bit just saying that. But you've made it like really exciting. And whatever you're doing, it doesn't feel like marketing. Like, it just feels like these like viral moments that are just like blowing up because they're controversial. Like you're doing things that other startups wouldn't. Like people are outraged by it. People are enraged by it. I mean, what are people getting wrong about startup marketing that you seem to have cracked?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's like what people are getting wrong about social. Well, like the original problem here is like everyone who's good at engineering, if you're any good at engineering, you're probably not funny, and you're probably not going to be a content creator because you don't have it in your blood. And realistically, like most of these people have no chance of going viral. And thing is, like, you don't need to. Like, low-key, if you build GPT, then, like, you don't need to go viral. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But if you're building, like, you know, like an AI meeting note-taker, then you probably want to stand out somehow. Yeah. Realistically, what I think most people don't understand is that social media has extremified pretty much everything. Okay. And in order to stand out, you have to be like very different. And what worked in the past, like I really don't think Airbnb's stunts of like the Obama O's or whatever, like that wouldn't really fly today because that's not like every day people are used to seeing crazier and crazier things. So to stand out, you have to be even crazier, which is why like you just see different content on the timeline, which is why everyone gets mad and like upset, like, oh my god, like this is like some new AI disruptive, like evil, like man, but everyone building like some random GPT wrapper anyway, so it's not even that bad. But you just have to frame yourself in a way that is differentiated. I think I'm particularly good at framing myself in a way that's controversial. Honestly, I don't even think I rage bait. Like, really, I think I'm just honest and like authentic. And I think people just see that as rage bait because they get enraged. But that's probably just my personality.
What do you think people find controversial about Cluely?
Yeah, I mean, like from the start, like we say cheat on everything.
Yeah.
And this was a bet. Like this was like. Let me actually give you a better answer. What do people find so controversial about Cluely? I think I do a lot of things that are different. And every single thing I do that's different, I frame it through the filter of my voice. And my voice just is naturally very enraging to a lot of people. So, like the way that I speak and describe about things, I just have a hyperbolic way of saying things. So if I say, like, I could go out and say, yo, we're building a desktop assistant that will help you. Or I could say, like, yo, cheat on everything. And to me, like, that just sounds more like myself.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that underlying, your marketing strategy, there's this notion that like people are too worried about brand safety. That like if you go and make something that like gets people upset, that gets people angry about it, I think a lot of brands want to steer clear of that kind of stuff because then they have to put on an apology. It seems like you don't care about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious to anybody who I think is under the age of 25 and like scrolls regularly that like reputation is sort of a thing of the past. Like you can try and be like the New York Times or whatever and guard your ironclad reputation, but like realistically, you have Sam Altman who's like on the timeline talking about hot guys, and you have Elon Musk like going batshit crazy on the timeline every day. And it's like realistic, like how is this possibly the world that we live in? And you just have to realize that the world is trending to a different place where you have to be extreme, you have to be authentic, and you have to be personal, and that is extremely at odds with being super corporate.
And I feel like there's a lot of people doing this right now. Like right outside, there's a startup, I think Artisan, like their thing is like don't hire humans.
Yeah.
And then there's Friend, who their thing is just like, we're making an AI device that you can be friends with. So like I'm curious, like who do you think is doing it well right now? Like who do you think is taking what Cluely has found and is doing it the right way?
The right way. I mean, there's like, okay, so I guess there's two big things that you need to worry about. And for all marketing, your marketing, it falls in one of two categories, very rarely both, and it's either top of funnel or it's bottom of funnel. Like it's meant to say, hey, like you can either send the message of, hey, look at us, we're Cluely, and get the idea in people's heads, or you can send the message of, hey, download us to get AI meeting notes. And like the two are at odds. You can just get more impressions and more reach by saying crazy shit, and just attaching Cluely to it, which is why you see like Stripe powers like fucking autonomous vehicle data with Stripe or whatever, like these billboards, and it's like, just get Stripe in your head a lot, and then later you see the one ad that's like, okay, Stripe does this for you, it does like easy payments online, and then you're like, oh, Stripe, the fucking billboard that I've seen like everywhere, like of course I'll buy it now because it's primed in my head. And I think if you only have one and not the other, then it will be very hard, like it's just not good marketing. And for you to have very good bottom of funnel, like you actually have to have like a product that works. And I think that's where a lot of the people in my generation like fail is like low-key there's only so many magic moments out there, and like at one point you can get all the top of funnel and all the initial traffic you want, and at some point people have to retain and people have to like spread the product because they enjoy the product.
Yeah. And I mean, I want to ask you about that because like the theory that you have that distribution is everything, I think Cluely in a lot of ways has become the benchmark for that theory.
Yeah.
So how's your business doing?
We're doing well. What I've learned is I'm pretty sure you should never share revenue numbers, because the only thing, like if you're doing well, nobody's going to talk about how well you're doing, and if you're doing poorly, then everybody will only talk about how poorly you're doing. And Twitter generally trends very, very critical and very negative. It's because it's just a bunch of like jealous engineers who like don't want to see anyone succeed except like themselves. And realistically, I'll say like we're growing quicker than I expected, but it's not the fastest growing company of all time.
Yeah, I think that's Mercor, which is they were on our stage like a day ago, and they're sharing the revenue numbers, and it doesn't seem to be going so bad for them. So
yeah, I mean, of course, if you literally are the fastest growing company of all time.
There you go. Yeah. What about like users? Like, do you guys have like a monthly active user count?
We do, but I think this is just another thing that if you share, then none of your other competitors will share, and all of them will just use that as data against you. Oh. And realistically, the second they do better, like it just gives them like fuel to the fire.
Okay.
And I think there's other ways to get impressions and gain goodwill without doing that.
Okay. What about retention? Like, because I mean, you're clearly getting a lot of eyeballs, yes. But like, do they stay?
The retention has gone up 3x from launch.
Okay.
And that's a number I'm comfortable sharing. But yeah. I also won't share numbers here because I think again, like it's just like everyone else will be benchmarked against each other. But when we launched, like the product didn't work at all. So like
I guess it's good that retention went up from there.
Yeah. So it's up 3x from there, and that's what I'll share.
I mean, you've mentioned this before that you basically created the launch video for Cluely with just kind of the idea and then kind of made the product work after, which actually I think you're just pretty honest about that. I think a lot of startups do that. But talk to me about like working kind of backwards from getting distribution and then the product.
Yeah, I think if there's, I can't even say if it's a mistake, but one thing that I wonder is maybe we could have launched too early because like just for the first 3 weeks, like even if you downloaded it, like you realistically just could not use it. And right now, a lot of the reason for lower product velocity right now than I would like is because we're suffering from a lot of tech debt from a quick launch, and then now we have to maintain backwards compatibility with all like the random bullshit frameworks that we added just because things were going down so fast. And I think there is such a thing as launching too early. But also, like, I mean, we did like it's the fucking Cluely launch. Like, how can I say like, oh, I regret like being the most viral? Like, it did well for us.
Do you think you bit off more than you could chew with the launch video?
Nah, I don't think so. I think people don't give a fuck. People don't care. But at the end of the day, it's like, oh, this is like a good product for sending follow-up emails. Like, I'll use it for that. Like, at the end of the day, if you just get like a couple thousand users, like they will find the use case for you. And that was the whole idea. Is let's launch something that barely works, and then if we can get enough initial users, like they will become the power users and they will find out the use cases for us. And that is what ended up happening. And now like our core power group of users is just people who have tried it and experienced like very different things than we expected them to. It's the whole reason why we ended up like narrowing scope. Like, well, everyone's using this for professional meetings, but might as well just build it for that.
Yeah. So that's what the power users have told you, is that they just want to use it for meetings?
Well, they just do use it for meetings.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what you're building towards now.
Yeah, I mean, this is another thing. I don't know if this is inevitable. I'm beginning to think that perhaps every company that lands in a space, everyone just sort of like gradially descends down to the most optimal version of the solution, which is why like Instagram Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts all look the same. And like perhaps that is true, and perhaps it is also the case that the day Cluely launched, and we were destined to end up here. Whether we talked to a bunch of users or whether we got super viral and then used the usage data, right. I'm not sure though. These are still things that I'm like figuring out.
So like now you're in the thick of it. Like when the launch video went out, like and you had some of like the viral stunts where you like hired 50 interns to like just be influencers. That was in a much earlier stage. Now you're like, okay, you've got some users, you're trying to grow them. Do you feel like the focus on distribution, like the influencers that you guys have, like the focus on social media is a distraction now from actually building the thing?
No, and the reason is because you can just hire people to do it for you. And right now I can spend a lot of my time like not doing that thing, and now the marketing channels I can just like one-to-one give to other people. I think this is something that every startup probably needs to think about more, because there's just so many startups that die because they could have PMF, but they don't find it because they can't get seen by users. In fact, I know probably like 4 products off the top of my head that like would be like crazy, like yo, like low key, let's copy all of their UI, but they're not seen by anybody, and they get like fucking like less than 1% of the web traffic, as they're just gonna get steamrolled. And I think like realistically, most startups do not die because like the product is not there. Like if you're in a problem space and you're like solving something, like even the tiniest fucking problem, like there's money to be made there, you die because you can't find the money. And people just need a hard focus. Like I think generally, if you're not in deep tech, then you need a low-key hard focus on building distribution. If your problem even remotely if your thing remotely solves the problem that you're trying to, like you got to get in front of people, bro.
But like, if you guys have like millions of views, like on X, on TikTok, on Instagram, but you don't have millions of users, like, I mean, like, talk to me about like conversion, because to me, it's like if people see it and then the product's good, they'll convert into lasting users theoretically, right? Like, so why not just focus more on building the product now? Because like you are still, I mean, you might hire people to do it, but like you're in the TikToks, like you're, clearly like still a part of it, right?
I'd say like the world is so much bigger than people think, and even if you spend, as an extreme, if Mr. Beast started any company and just gave you a blank term sheet, he didn't even tell you the industry, he just said, yo, I'm Mr. Beast, I'm building a company. Like what post money, like he'd probably get like fucking like $1 billion post money off rip just because it's like, oh, it's Mr. Beast, I trust him. So obviously at an extreme, everyone believes that if you have enough distribution, then it doesn't really matter, you can just kingmake yourself. And right now, like there's a big, like it might not seem like that in tech, but there's a big jump, like a huge, massive jump between us and Mr. Beast. And there's just like an enormous alpha to be gained there. There's always like a best thing to do, and certainly like I spend a lot of my time on product right now, which is why you see me tweet a lot less. But like there's like a globally optimal thing to do, but there's like 100 other really fucking great things you can do, and there's many roads to building a generational company. And one of the roads could theoretically, like maybe the globally optimal strategy is just fucking spend the next 5 years Mr. Beasting yourself and then build a company. And maybe in that 5 years, like your momentum in building the distribution will just be better than anything you could have done on product.
I'm curious, like if everyone starts doing this, if everyone starts doing optimizing for viral rage bait content. I know you said you don't do rage bait, but like if everyone starts doing this, do you feel like we end up in sort of like a race to the bottom?
I mean, not really. At the end of the day, like you can't fake anything long term, really. Like at the end of the day, the best products will win, and the best marketing will win. And if your marketing wasn't the best, then like you will die. And I actually don't think that rage if there is a globally optimal way of getting people to convert to the product, then people will do that. And if it is rage bait, then it will be net better for the entire world because it will mean that everyone will get value faster. But it's very likely that it's not rage bait because things get saturated very quickly. And if everyone is posting rage bait, then it's not even bait anymore. Maybe there'll be like hope bait in the future, and that will be what's viral.
So you have to level up now, is what you're saying. Like this,
differentiate yourself.
But the kind of content you were making before, you're like, okay, now everyone's doing that kind of stuff.
I really don't think everyone's doing that stuff. My biggest fear, I took a sort of like a pause from tech Twitter to hard focus on product because at one point we had everything we needed.
Okay.
And my biggest fear was like, bro, I gave everyone the fucking playbook. Like, there's gonna be another Roy Lee and it's gonna be over for me. And like, bro, it didn't happen, bro. Like tech Twitter, the engineers just cannot make good content, bro. You give them a fucking like 1,000 tries on bad and they cannot make good content. I think right now it's not saturated because like there's a bunch of shallow replicas, but I challenge you to find one video who you think is like, yo, this is as tough as Cluely.
I mean, I'll take it, but Friend? Like okay. Friend had like a pretty like crazy launch video that got a lot of people, like in New York right now, if you're on the subways,
sure, yeah.
Like they have all that rage bait there and it feels pretty intentional. Right? Like is that not the Cluely playbook, or is that the Friend playbook? Like,
I would check. Like, what if, like, imagine for a second that Friend actually worked, and it worked very well, like, and it literally could replace the function of like an actual Friend. Then do you think people would have the same reaction? Like, obviously, fucking not. And as a counter, I'll say something that's been like blowing up pretty well has been like Poke. Like Poke by Interaction, theirs was quite recent, and they used the same launch like studio that Cluely did, and they very arguably followed the exact Cluely playbook. But because the product was like stronger and did closer to the thing that they said that they were going to do, now all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, like nobody even talks about, oh my god, you guys spent like $250K on a marketing video. Like, man, no, nobody cares, bro.
Yeah. I want to ask you about some other companies and their like marketing strategies, because there was one of the investors from Andreessen Horowitz said you're like one of like the 0.01% of people who like really understand distribution. So I want to ask you about a couple. So like, what do you think about like OpenAI? Like, what do you think of their like strategy right now?
Yeah, I'd say like OpenAI is actually running like another variant of the Cluely playbook, which is when Sam Altman is on timeline saying like, "Yo, AGI imminent, bruh, solved internal." Like, man, okay, let's be for real. But like he's doing this like drum up like fear, and then all the Instagram headlines go like, "Yo, like Sam Altman just announced AGI," and like that's just another variant of eyeballs on product selling a vision that doesn't quite exist yet.
Okay, what about Anthropic?
Anthropic, I mean, if you just look at like monthly active users between OpenAI and Anthropic, it's clear that one person is winning, and I don't think GPT-5 is like gargantuanly better than any of the Claude models.
But Anthropic like also stirs up controversy because they go on the headlines and they're like, "Oh, AI is going to take 50% of jobs in like 5 years or something." So
they don't do it nearly enough. And
you think they need to be doing that more?
I mean, yeah, I think almost all content like is also the reason why people will have like a super viral launch video and then just flop. Like, bro, like where's the next video? And people just won't have enough quantity of content. This is also why like there's been many almost Andrew Tates since Andrew Tate, but the reason why Andrew Tate won is like sure partly because he's so engaging with the way that he talks, but also partly just because he makes more fucking content than everybody. Like I don't know anybody else who's been on as many podcasts and genuinely tried to get clipped up that many times.
Okay, what about Donald Trump?
Donald Trump, bro, he's the fucking GOAT, bro. Look at him, bro. He's the president of the United States, bro. Like, dude, if you think Donald Trump's like the way he's doing it, if you don't think that's working, like how about you go be president of the United States then?
I mean, he's running the Cluely playbook though?
I think everyone is running a variant of the playbook of social media has saturated most content formats that we understand to be cool like 10 years ago, and as a result, you have to differentiate yourself. And if the actual core playbook is differentiate yourself with content, then yes, Donald Trump is running the same playbook.
There you go. What about the differences between the platforms? Like Twitter is different from Instagram and TikTok. Like, do you have to be like more enraging on certain platforms than others?
I'll say there's like a few core learnings, and this might be like the most valuable thing I say on here, because I actually think I have like a reason to speak on this. But Twitter generally is like super caption focused, and it's not video focused at like almost at all. The average scroll time on Twitter is way faster than it's going to be on Instagram, and it matters so much what your caption is. In tech Twitter specifically, like people really care that you're announcing something, even if you're not fucking announcing shit, but just like act like you're announcing something revolutionary. Because there's a lot of like high IQ, like fake high IQ Wojaks on Twitter will be like, yo, like this is interesting. I know all about this. So focus on caption and focus on the first frame. That matters more than anything. On Instagram and TikTok, the attention span, the time per scroll is like slower. So you have about 3 seconds to capture someone's attention. And in that, like the caption does not matter at all. The only thing that matters is like how watchable is the actual video.
Okay.
I'd say on Instagram, things should be vertical. Twitter, things should be horizontal. And also, as a general rule of thumb, and this is something that I don't see a lot of people talk about, but there's like different levels of consciousness that you have on different platforms. On Instagram, TikTok, you have a very, very low level of consciousness because it doesn't take that much to just sit down and watch a video. And as a result, that's why things like mobile ad, like the fucking Flappy Bird ads, like those will do so well because you're operating at like probably the lowest level of consciousness, and it's just so easy for you to be like emotionally ticked by something and then click it. On Twitter, because it's caption focused and you have to actually read the thing, you're operating at a much higher level. It's not as high as if you're like reading a book, but on Twitter, this is the reason why if you're building something like B2B or if you have like an actual value and then like the onboarding takes a lot longer and it's like a desktop app or it's like a hardware device, like you're much better off just solely focusing on Twitter. Yeah. And this is true for any content space that is like largely caption first. Yeah. It's true for Reddit, it's true for LinkedIn. And I'd say there's different businesses that have no space being like, many businesses have absolutely no business being on Instagram, TikTok, just because the average consciousness level of people there is going to be too low for anyone to actually convert.
So you have to like be more enraging. So why don't those companies just like take a page of the Cluely playbook and like be more enraging on them? Like you think it just doesn't work for them?
I wouldn't even like. Again, I wouldn't say that enraging is the playbook. It's like differentiated is the playbook.
Okay.
For example, when I said like introducing the Cluely marketing team, like that was a good video that was just differentiated.
Yeah.
And it wasn't enraging at all.
Yeah.
And I think if you can make differentiated content, then sure. Like Anthropic's fucking like coffee, so that was like a different thing. This was why it went viral.
Yeah.
And people don't necessarily want to see something enraging, but obviously with the platform, like the reason you are so incentivized to make something enraging on Twitter is because on Twitter, the golden thing that you should care about solely is quote posts. If you look, and this is something that is like, I've reviewed a bunch of launch videos from a bunch of founders, and every single time I see a bad one, I will ask them, when someone quote posts this, what do you think they will say? And it could be like you're launching GPT-5 and it's extremely obvious what they'll say. Like everyone will jump in with their take. And if you even you just have to imagine that it is very, very clear in your head when you quote post it, someone will say something about it, which is why you want to be like enraging, because then like the angry opinions are the loudest. But also like you can do this in many, many ways.
Yeah. Okay. So we've kind of gone through a lot of the playbook here, but I want to hear what's next for Cluely. How does Cluely win?
How does Cluely win? I mean, right now, I generally have this long-term vision. I think, and do not take me at my word for this. I'm just some random kid, but I'm pretty sure you have to hedge against both the world of ASI coming relatively soon and also the world that models just plateau here. And if models just plateau here, I'm of the opinion that among the consumer AI tool space, there's not been very many that are super interesting and super value add. And of the ones that are, like I'd say like probably the AI note taker is like one of the only ones that I've genuinely seen people gain value out of. So in the case that the models plateau, it feels to me that one of the most compelling things is like the AI note taker. So you want to be in that space. We also have to imagine like what if the models get like fucking ridiculously good, and if that's the case, then you know like the Cluey launch video was exactly like suggestive of if like GPT-7 happened, and this is what we think that it would be able to do for your life. And Cluely, in its current form factor, this translucent glass pane that appears over everything and augments the way you work on your computer, like this is primed to enter that space as well. And I think the way Cluely wins, I mean, at our core, we're like an application layer product. So it depends on how well the models do. If the models plateau here, then our plan is to become the best AI note taker, starting with the consumer. And if the models get ridiculously better, then you saw the video yourself.
And I think that Cluely, you know, is in some ways become infamous for this strategy. Like, I think that a lot of people look at it and say, this is not what tech startups should be about. You should be focused on building the product. You shouldn't be focusing on just the marketing of it. I'm curious what you say to those people, the critics.
Yeah, I think for every single successful person, there's like a graveyard of other startups who have failed and wouldn't share the opinion that, oh, you can just fucking build a thing and people will come, and like there's just so many people out. And usually the only advice you'll hear is from people who, like Sam Altman will say, you know, it's a lot easier to raise $100 million than $1 million. Like, yeah, if you're Sam Altman, maybe, but like realistically, most people, if you're a college student, like you won't think that way. And these successful people, I think we'll say like what has worked for them is we didn't really focus on marketing because I was a nerdy engineer and I didn't really know how to do it and I didn't need it, so you don't need it either. But in reality, like in their wake, there's 100 other failed startups who, if they had adopted this sort of marketing, like they actually would have made it. And you just don't hear about them because they're not the ones that get clipped up and they're not the ones that are famous. And I would say if you actually looked at the net opinions of every single person and truly ignored the noise of every single founder who tried, had a chance and failed, like I think a lot of them would say like, yeah, low-key, I wish we had better marketing. And you wouldn't hear the successful billionaires saying like, yo, just focus on product like I did and you'll be a billionaire. Like, man, shut your ass up, bro.
Who do you look to for advice?
For advice? It's hard. I feel like I'm like in like pioneering something different. Probably like fucking like Jake Paul, bro.
All right. Well, I think that's all of our time. Roy, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everyone.